Today is Tuesday, which means another edition of 2 Trades in 2 Minutes. I'm Ross Gibbons, a trader of more than 20 years, and every Tuesday I try to find you 2 high-probability trade setup stocks you can buy right now that offer limited risk and an explosive upside. And so far, the last several weeks, we've had some phenomenal results. 2 weeks ago, I gave you this one, D-Wave Quantum, ticker QBTS. The arrow here on the chart shows the buy points. We were buying a breakout above 16.5. That took place 2 days later here on September the 11th, and that stock is up more than 60% over the last week and a half. So if you took that, you followed my advice, congratulations, good win. If it were me, and you can manage this however you want, if it were me, I'd be nailing down some profits here. I would sell half, 2/3, maybe all of this stock here on this big gain. If you want to sell a piece and trail a stop loss, that's fine. But very rarely if I look back and said, man, I only made 60% of it the last week and a half. What a bum I am, right? So nail down those profits when they're on the board. Now, last week we did another quantum stock. This one was QUBT. It has also done very well. We noticed a similar breakout coming down here on the low side. It had a little move out here on the 12th, squatted back in on that Tuesday, recommended buying it right in here at $16 and change, and it shot up very quickly, somewhere in the neighborhood of what? 40% over the next 3 days. It settled back in here on Monday, but still a really nice gain. So we've done pretty well. Platinum, we pointed out, is still kind of waiting as a breakout. We put some gold stocks. Gold's done extremely well. Some silver stuff has done extremely well. And the secret to this is just simply focusing on the areas that are performing the best, right? When you get a good bull market like you're in now, you have big institutions piling money into their best ideas and their best views, those areas are going to rise the fastest. So if you will laser focus on the corners of the market that are doing the best, that's where you're going to find the best picks. And so you see nuclear and uranium, nuclear and uranium, nuclear and uranium all over here. That's why we get into stocks like OKLO that made back in here, that made this huge run. And if it had another breakout here, should have recommended this one. It's up 70% as well. And so we just focus on those areas. That's what's kept us in a lot of the leaders. And the nuclear and uranium space continues to be extremely hot. Now, I'm getting some feeling, and I hope I'm wrong on this, that some of the growth stuff might take a temporary pause. I'm not seeing a big decline in the market, but like if I look at the advanced decline line here, notice how for the first time in a while, the advanced decline has kind of come down as stocks have gone up, meaning it's not as deep participation. One of the biggest things I've noticed in gold, which we've been bullish on for a year and a half now, just continue to do well, notice how it is continuing to rise. In fact, it made new all-time highs here on Monday. But when you look at Bitcoin, it's not doing the same. It's been a stick in the mud for the last 3 months, and it's actually reversing. And so I think we're getting a bit of a shift toward commodities, physical stuff. I think the inflation hedge, the catastrophe hedge is moving from Bitcoin to gold, at least for now. And so we've had a couple of big growth wins. I want to shift a little bit this week into a couple of commodity names. We're still going to laser focus on these areas that are performing the best. We're going to go slightly safer plays that still have a lot of upside, okay? So I'm going to bring up a 2-minute timer here. And the game is I try to get these done in 2 minutes. So far, I'm like 0 for 8, but I'm convinced that one day I will actually get this done inside of 2 minutes. So let's give it our best shot. Okay, now, one thing you'll notice on the market health indicator here, look at the top or second performing, number 2 area over the 1 month is lithium. Number 2 over the 2 month is lithium. 3 month, lithium. This is an area very strong. And the biggest lithium miner out there is a company called Albemarle, ticker ALB. Now, Albemarle has been beaten like a red-headed stepchild over the last 2 years, from $320 a share to $60, but it is now trying to break out from a low stage 1 base. And if you kind of draw a line, squint your eyes a little bit here, you can see what I'm talking about, where it kind of comes down, forms what we call a rounded bottom here, comes in and kind of tightening up, looking for a breakout higher. So I'm liking Albemarle in here. I think if you really dialed in on this thing, you would either want to do a breakout through the $88 area. I'm pretty much comfortable doing it in here, that last little dip high. So if you get through 85 bucks, I consider buying ALB Albemarle. And you work a stop right down here at about 77.25 for a 9% risk. That's Albemarle, ALB, the world's biggest lithium miner. And then on the other big leading area was what? Nuclear uranium. So we're going from the nuclear stocks to the uranium. This is CCJ, Cameco, one of the biggest uranium mining companies. And you can see it had a wonderful breakout here in May. Great move, right? I mean, the thing doubled over 3 or 4 months. Now, some of these nuclear stocks have done 200-400%, right? But still very, very good. And if you look here over the last couple of months, it's formed a nice little shallowing base. It had a beautiful run from 45 to 80. It's come inside, shallowed, based out, absorbed. Had a little pop-up here on an earnings break. It wasn't ready. Came right back down inside. Broke out nicely. Little squat. Recovery. It's called a natural reaction to looking really, really, really strong. Hey, that was close to 2 minutes, guys. We almost got it done this time, so that's about as best as we've done. But that's Cameco, CCJ. So I think Cameco is viable here. Again, you got the breakout, the retest, and then it confirmed and came back and pushed higher through there. So if you buy it here around 86-ish, I think you work a stop loss just beneath this big update around, call it 77.5 for about a 10% risk. And then, this is one that just came out. It's the second breakout of the stage 2 move. So 1 was here. This will be 2. Should be good based on history and what these typically do. Should be good for somewhere in that kind of 30 to 50% range on the upside. So those are my two, both commodity plays, CCJ and ALB. They're still leading areas, but they're focusing on the physical commodity instead of the company doing something with it. And if you just don't like commodities and you want a stock, well, how about Roblox? Now, Roblox has been a big leader of this bull market. You see the big stage 1 base here in 22, 23, 24, finally breaks out, was making a really nice run. Then we declared a trade war on the entire world, and the thing came back down, retested a breakout area, has been ripping ever since, and finally stalling, tightening up here. So Roblox looks good for a buy above 140. If you take it, put a stop at this little rejected swing low here on the 17th for about a 7.5% risk. So 3 trades in a little more than 2 minutes, but I think we're getting better. I think we're getting much closer to the 2 minute. One day I'm going to get it done. Now, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. We do this every Tuesday. I'm going to give you 2 new trade ideas, always low risk, always in growth areas. The goal is to make a lot of money without taking a lot of risk, and I want to see you grow and compound your account as efficiently and as safely as possible. We're going to do everything we can to make that happen. All right? So click subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.